What's going on, family? Oh boy. You know that old saying about don't shoot the messenger? It's the problem with spraying the truth. You get shot sometimes. That does happen as we reach the darkest, slowest time so far in this real estate cycle. And there really isn't any good news on the horizon, it doesn't appear. But we're going to take a look at everything for what it is. I do want to throw this out there right away at the top of the show here today. This is something I've known about this for a while. I know we covered this in a previous video, but it was like 2 years ago or something. And so a couple things. If you're a disabled veteran, you can get all of your student loans eliminated. So look that video up. I'll put a link of that in the description. And then also there's this public service. So this includes, so even if you're not a disabled veteran, if you serve 10 years in the military, if you serve 10 years in any public service format, you qualify to eliminate your student loan debt. And this is something that's actually been around for a little while. And I just want to make people aware of this because whether you have a disability rating and you serve, it doesn't matter. Whether you're a teacher or you're a veteran, if you have 10 years of public service, you can potentially qualify to eliminate your student loan debt. And I particularly want veterans to know about this. If you put in 10 years or more, or if you have combined 10 years public service, maybe you were in the Marines for 4 years and you've been a police officer ever since or something, you have the ability to eliminate student loan debt. So this has been around for some time. I just want to make you aware of this. I'm going to put the link. You can read more about this at the link and get more details there. But I did want to put a reminder for that in there today. Of course, the big news today, J-PAL raising rates, Federal Reserve raised rates today, 75 basis points. I want to point out a couple of key takeaways here, and then I'm going to show you what's happening in the mortgage market. And it's not ideal. It's not ideal, but it does at least appear that we have some sort of a roadmap here. So here's it. They raised 75 basis points, 3/4 of a point. Again, that takes us to 3.25. Remember, the average is always a quarter point deviation. So they say, hey, our target rate is 3 to 3.25, which means they want to land somewhere in between there. That's where we are now, 3 to 3.25. But the Fed officials have signaled their intention to continue the hike until we get a terminal rate or an endpoint of 4.6. So what does that mean? So we're at 3 now, let's call it. That's another 1.5, 150 basis points, or potentially 2 more 75 basis point hikes. Now, this is the first time we've really seen this come as a consensus that this is sort of the target area. So you would think the market would be pleased by that. The market would go, oh, hey, all right, light at the end of the tunnel, something to hang your hat on, something to get excited about, something to tell people, hey, after the October, November meeting, we're good. It's over. No more. But I think the main concern the market has right now is that enough? Has enough been done? And that is the big question right now. It takes a while. Remember, I was telling you this in the very early stages. When we go back to this last year, second quarter last year, and I was like, listen, this inflation thing takes a while. There's nothing fast about it, especially getting out of it. Now we're in a spot where we've kind of hit a ceiling with inflation. And we peaked in June. The numbers have declined since then, not by a lot, but a little. And so now here we are. Okay, when is the end? When do we start to trend lower on inflation? The Federal Reserve believes that these hikes will get them there. That is what they are expecting. You can watch this video for a little bit more information. 4.6. So another 1.5 points. 2 more meetings with hikes of 75 basis points will get us there. And that is quite a bit. But hey, rip the Band-Aid off. Like I said from the very beginning, they should have just done a 4% increase all at once. You don't put a fire out little by little. You douse it. That's how it's done. Everybody knows that. Why would you treat this any differently? It really doesn't make it. Well, we don't want to impact the market. You impact the markets anyway. You do anyway, because everyone's trying to guess the hell your end game is. Tell us. In fact, don't even tell us. Just do it up front, right away. Get it over with. This drawn out stuff is not helping. It's hurting. I'm frustrated because it's been very obvious this path wasn't going to work from the very beginning. Why can't the bow tie guys see that? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy madness. Here's the bad news. Well, let's look at mortgage rates kind of across the board. This is the site that I recommend for people to just track the trends in mortgage rates. Although I will tell you this, they make me look very good. My rates are lower than this, especially for FHA and VA. We're like mid fives, on these, and they're showing 6%. I remember now this Mortgage News Daily, they get their mortgage rates. It's a culmination. They're pulling rates that are quoted on different websites and kind of pulling the average together. So it's not necessarily 100% accurate, but it does give you a good way to sort of see how things are trending. But yeah, my rates are a lot lower than this, so that's good to see. So you can see today a little bit lower. The green means that rates went down a little bit. So you can see just like a tiny trending lower. Reality is, we're up 3 basis points. Come on, Barry, load for me. MBShighway.com, brought to you by Barry Abib and Dan Abib. 3 basis points. So not much, not much. I don't know why I have so much trouble when I go live. Why is it now the time? So here's the trend. You can see it. It's pretty obvious. There it is. That's what we're up against. The good news, if there is any, I'm stretching, but the good news is these candles look pretty good. These candles look like bottom forming candles, which should signal move higher. Let's see what happens if we get up to and interact with this downward trend line. If that continues to reject, then not much has changed. That's kind of what we need to do. We need to break through that and start to establish something else. We need to establish an uptrend here, even if it's a short one, even if it's a quick one, just, get us going in that direction. Look at how weird this is drawing right now. One of those days, guys, I'm keeping it together. I really am. It may not seem like it, but I'm keeping it together. And so, this is not a pretty looking, trend that we see here in mortgage bonds. Remember, we want to see mortgage bonds go higher so rates can go lower. We don't want to see mortgage bonds going lower like this. Which is what they have relentlessly done. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. And let me show you why here. Let's see. Okay, here's what changed in the Fed statement. We'll go through that in a second. Not a whole lot. I mean, it's very little, actually. I'll just leave that one for you to check out on your own. This one, here we go. Get out of here. 2-year Treasury yield surges above 4.1%. Check this out. Highest level in 2007. 4% on your money for 2 years in a Treasury. This is why I don't get it. That sounds pretty good. Is that not appetizing? Are you not interested in that? If you have cash parked right now, would you like to get 4% for the next couple of years? Essentially guaranteed. It's backed by the U.S. government. Pretty much guaranteed, right? There is some risk when you own a bond, but 4%, that seems pretty sexy to me, especially when the dollar, look at this. Look at the dollar. Relentless tear, still in the channel. Just won't quit. Keeps going higher. 111? What in the heck? 111. Unstoppable. What is happening in the world? I cannot explain this to you. We are experiencing decades high inflation, yet somehow the dollar is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. How? Well, the only explanation is that everyone else, because remember, currencies have to be compared to something. You can't get a value for just what a dollar is. You have to be comparing it to something. When you're comparing the dollar to all other currencies, it's strengthening, which means that things are getting worse elsewhere than they are here, basically. But look at this relentless tear higher from the dollar, which means the dollar is getting stronger, even though we're experiencing 8% inflation, which means your cash is actually growing in value. So if you're someone who has been sitting on cash, that cash is actually gaining purchasing power. This looks like deflation. We're starting to experience some deflation in real estate values, right? We're seeing that prices are coming in, purchasing power is being crushed by these mortgage rates. And let's see, we'll get to that in a second. But when I see 4%, this is why bonds should be really sexy. If the dollar is gaining all by itself, meaning your mattress money is gaining purchasing power, it's going up in value, then your money that's locked in the bond is still gaining that 4% plus, or sorry, that movement that the dollar's getting, plus you're getting 4% on it. That's why I'm puzzled. I'm puzzled why we look at, this is a 5% coupon. Yeah, this is a 5% coupon trading under 100, which means that the yield on this is over 5%. A mortgage bond at 5% isn't sexy in a super deflationary dollar scenario where inflation seems to have peaked. I don't understand why that wouldn't attract more big dollars. What is it that we don't know, guys? By the way, we're live, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're live on LinkedIn. It just blows me away. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. Pretty wild. Yes, Ronald. That's it right there. And I'll take your comments. Your comments, questions, say what's up. Nice jacket, Ronald. My kind of thing right there. Uptrend on the USD is there. So I'm perplexed by this. Is this the greatest fake out of all time? Are they messing with people? Are they trying to convince us there's something crazy that's going to happen before it turns around? Remember COVID? They had us all thinking we're all going to die. And then they turned this market around and went, is that what's going on? But it's just a harder sell now. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you this. Mortgage rates are hurting. They're hurting the process. I've been speaking with a lot of people in the industry. I'm going to continue to have meetings. I had another great one today. And just talk about, what are you seeing? What are you experiencing? There's a lot of people excited about real estate. We're talking to people about real estate every day. People want to buy real estate. People are getting pre-approved to buy real estate. But what's happening is people are going and looking at homes and going, I like that home. That's the one we like. Now what's the payment? And that is where things stop. Okay. How much is the payment on that one? Dang. That's the trouble that we're having. When rates were really low, I remember people used to ask the same question. So what's the payment on this one? And the answer was different. It was great. And now it's happening to people going, ooh, that number doesn't make me want to jump in. That number makes me want to hold on. And it's totally understandable why that's the case. It's totally understandable why it's the case. But until we see some relief here. Now, some people have said, well, when will we know when the bottom's in? Well, I think most likely it's going to be interest rate driven. Remember, interest rates are the reason why we saw a pullback in the market, why we are seeing the scenario that we're in right now. So when interest rates go down, when they start to go down, that's going to be the real time. So when will you know when that is? Well, we've got to get past the rate hikes, right? We've got to get past the inflation problems, really what needs to happen. But the bond market will be a front runner on that. I promise you this. I know I've got this all marked up. Looks stupid. The bond market will be a front runner, a leading indicator. In other words, rates will start getting better, and we'll be sitting here going, why? What's happening? I don't understand. Why are rates getting so many? Why are people buying bonds hand over fist? Where's all the money coming from going to the bond market? And that's going to be your indicator. Okay. Because the big boys play in the bond market, the bond bullies, these guys, they'll know before we do what's happening on a macro scale. So when we do see rates start to improve, that could be the signal that, all right, the trend is about to change. When will that be, though? When will that be? In my opinion, just based on overall just value, I mean, 4% on a 2-year? This could also be part of the problem, now that I think about it. I mean, if you can get 4% for 2 years, does it make sense to take the risk for the 30-year bond coupon at 5%? Could be part of the problem. So interesting. Either way, I still think these bonds have a lot more value than what they're being given. We've got a couple decent candles here. Maybe we'll get lucky. But at the bottom, I think it's going to be when rates start to really improve. And that could be, a while from now. I mean, it could be any time, but it could be a while. So what are we going to do in the meantime? In the meantime, buyers have a lot more pull. We're seeing that. I'm seeing cash buyers are loving this market. Cash buyers are in love right now with this market. The people who are a little bit less rate sensitive, who are more property sensitive, there's a lot of investors out there who could give a shit about interest rates, even though they're financing. The real thing that they're looking at is the right property. Is it the right location? Does it have the right rental opportunity? Does it have a right opportunity to raise rents? And that matters more than anything else because they know the financing works itself out over time. If I take a rate that's a little bit higher today, you know what? In a few years, we're probably going to drop it down. That's the great thing about refinancing is, when rates drop, you refinance and you keep that rate. And if rates never go that low again, you just keep it. If rates go lower, you refinance again. And you just do the same thing. If rates ever go lower, then you do it. If they don't, you keep it. You get to lock it in. That's one of the things that is beautiful. This is an article here from the money side. The mortgage rates will likely rise after a Fed decision. Not sure how they knew that, considering they dropped the last 3 times. But anyway, experts say housing prices will soon drop. They're already dropping, silly. Where you at, Brett? Where you been, bruh? They're already dropping. Yeah, the CPI month over month, I don't think is that important, but the market really reacted to it. I felt like it was an overreaction. Oh, we're up 0.1%. That's nothing. If you look at the month, the year over year, and then just the year to date for inflation, which is how a lot of it's measured. Yeah, we're at 8.3%. We finished the year last year at 7%. So just keep that in mind. If we were at 7% at December 31st, and now we're at 8.3, that means we've gone almost 9 months with, there's an increase, maybe 15%, increase there from 7 to 8.3. So it has gone up a little bit, but not a whole lot, not a ton. And we did top out in June in the 9% range. So it kind of is puzzling. If inflation has topped, the Fed is remaining aggressive with deflationary activity. The dollar is going bananas, just unstoppable, relentlessly bananas higher. Why aren't bonds in favor? Why wouldn't bonds make sense? Why wouldn't bonds be at the top of your shopping list if you were a huge institutional investment firm? I guess that's why they make the big money and I do home loans. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe there's something here that we're not seeing, guys. And that's my gut is telling me that. I don't know what it is. I can't tell if it's something that's really good or something that's really bad, but I can tell you that there's something that we're missing. This equation doesn't add up. It just doesn't. I will tell you this though. I have some good news. Finally, there was someone in my last video that I made that there's a gentleman who is a veteran. He was getting absolutely ripped off. And we have finally, I don't know how this all happened. I do, but it's a crazy story. I'll leave you the details. We finally got him. He was being charged almost $20,000 for a rate that we ended up getting him 0.25% lower for no fees at all. So I bring that up because there is still a tremendous amount. I don't want to call it a scam. It's just ripping people off. There's still a lot of people out there who operate their business in the mortgage industry. It's designed and set up for profit, to just give people bad deals, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. It's obviously that's why I do this, particularly if you're a veteran, you're getting a VA loan. There are a lot of, we only do VA loan type companies, or we're a VA loan specialists, blah, blah, blah. They're out there ripping people off. And it's so sad. If you know someone who is getting a VA loan, please have them call or text me, send me an email. I will not harass anybody. I don't have time to harass anybody. I'm just trying to help hook people up. That's what I do. That's my job. Hook people up with good deals and give them good communication. It's my whole business plan, literally. So if you know someone in that situation, you want to make sure they're taken care of, you want to make sure they're getting a square deal, send them my way. I tell people all the time, hey, you're getting a square deal. That looks good. Happens all the time. Also, I look at some of these and I go, holy shit, someone is trying to fleece you. You are getting whacked, friend. I can tell you, I look at a lot of these estimates and it's ugly. So let's help me help your friends and family. Refer them my way. Make sure they get a detailed quote that actually makes sense. Okay? All right. Whew. I don't drink much. Really don't. Today could be one of those days. I may have to throw a cold one down today, guys. Federal Reserve, disappointing in their actions. disappointed in their inactions. Bond investors, where are you all? What are you doing? You're on vacation? All year? Get in there. Pull some triggers. It's a good deal. It is. What do I know? All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see y'all soon.